Alrighty, congratulations, Gina, for being selected for this week's review. Let's jump straight into it and have a look. Delete this note.
I mean, you broke my heart. I should be royally ticked off at you. I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore. I mean, you broke my heart. I should be royally ticked off at you. I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore. I mean,
Cool, cool. Looks really nice. So I've got a few thoughts, and some of them are ideas and performance and acting choices, and I'll go over those, and then I'll go over the animation notes where we could tidy up things like where you're hitting walls and stuff like that. So the first thing that I really like this. So when you drop down and you say,
I mean,
so when you drop down into this pose, this looks nice and believable. Like you fall down into it really nicely.
you broke my heart.
And then you do animation, right? It comes out of that authentic, believable performance and into I'm showing you my animation principle territory. And so that's where you've got the classic up and down, like as you talk and stuff like that. And so if you think about humans naturally, so the thing is, in animation, we put that in there sometimes to exaggerate a movement or to, I don't know why, to be honest, we just do it. I think it's just to exaggerate a movement, but we don't always need to do it. And you'll notice that in feature films, it's barely in there. And if it is, it's very subtle. It's one of the things you do in cartoony animation, like whoa, it's like it's an exaggeration sort of thing. So when you're doing like an acting performance, you don't really want someone that's bobbling their head around and stuff like this. You want something contained. Like as I talk to you right now, I'm barely moving any part of my body besides my head and my face and stuff. So this is where that's why I think I'm just gonna mute it. So I think it looks really nice here. You're like, oh, so this is like you're dropping down, and then you go whoop into like unbelievableness. And the dialogue that you have here is actually really, you've got a nice dialogue choice. Let's listen.
You broke my heart.
You broke my heart, right? Think about the words that you're actually saying there. It's a very big thing that you're saying. So it's not going to be like, you broke my heart, like happy or anything like that. He's like, well, you broke my heart, like dead serious. It's a bit of a serious tone. So I think that if you were just here in this defeated pose, right, that you have, which is cool. And then for this next line, instead of doing a whole big movement, all I would do is, I'm just going to go one pose across, is I would just move the head, like, and have him just like look up a tiny bit at whoever he's talking to, but like puppy dog eyes sort of thing. Oops. Let's draw it a bit better. That sort of thing. Get there. Super sad. Oops. Just like super sad, like, well, you broke my heart, and super restrained would be nice.
You broke my heart.
And then after you start saying I here at frame 58, this is where I'd start to think of something else. So I would live in this nice pose that you drop down into. This one, just lift the head as he's talking to, all through this bit here.
You broke my heart.
And then when you say I, these bits here, I would just come up into this bit that you have here. And I wouldn't do this hand stuff. I would avoid this hand stuff. Because it's not very, it's not really suiting the moment. It's a little, again, it's a little animated rather than a believable performance. Whereas if you just have this drop down to this one, and then look for and stay in this one, and then look up to this one, it's going to look a lot more natural. And you keep it all in the eyes and the face. And then again, you do like a huge breath over here.
I should be royally ticked off at you, you know, I should be really she's my talking.
And then you do like, you know, all this kind of like acting, which is just not authentic to the dialogue. So you should really listen to the dialogue, picture the performance, think about how you might say it, and think, and then try to perform it in that way. So for the rest,
I should be royally ticked off at you, you know, I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
yeah, I don't really have any other suggestions for the end. That's because there's obviously a bunch of different ways you can do it. I think this first bit is a bit easier to kind of vision, and then this bit,
royally ticked off at you, you know.
this bit you're actually kind of right, because he does get more energy here, right? This bit's like sad, and then this bit is a bit more energy and a bit more like less sad, if you will.
Be royally ticked off at you, you know. I should be royally ticked off at you, you know. I should be really cheesed off.
So I don't mind this, and then I don't mind this when you go internal. But then you do like this thing, like where you're crouching over and stuff, and that's where it starts. So from here, it looks a little bit doesn't suit the performance.
I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
And then when he says talk to you anymore, like this, you know, I wouldn't do that. I would just say I wouldn't want to talk to you anymore. I just keep it really subtle. Don't do so much with the arms, because this is where we want the audience to be looking. The whole my recording, please. Oh, phew. This is where the audience needs to be looking, is this face, this head moment. And these hands, if anything, they're distracting us. We're looking at the hands instead of seeing what's going on in the eyes. And, you know, we want to see his eyes, we want to see the emotion in his eyes. So let's keep the attention as much as possible here. Live in a pose and think a bit more deeply about what he's thinking, what he's trying to say, rather than the face value and putting on accents and motions on every single word. And it'll look a lot better. As soon as if you trim it back from all these different things and just keep it more still and more in the face, and it'll already look really good. So that's the kind of performance stuff that I think you can improve on. And let's just go in the animation now, like a bit more technical stuff.
I mean, you know, you broke my heart. I mean, you know, you broke my heart.
So it's something you should consider always, is the head and the chest and the cog or the hips. These are three different body parts, right? And they've all got their own movements, if you will. So they should be offset, for example. So as I move my head, I'm exaggerating this, but I'll be like this, you know, or like this, and it should be offset. It shouldn't move really stiff like this, like one-to-one. You want to avoid one-to-one action with these sorts of things, because that's when you're going to get like a plank body and look really, really stiff. So here you can see as you come up, it looks like you got a bit off. No. So you can see here, it's the head is moving one-to-one with the body, and then it stops with the body. So you ease out with the body. So the body could ease, and you could do a bit of an overshoot on the head, you know, just a bit of settle. So these guys have different timings. And that's happening throughout your whole shot. You've got a bit of dip on the head, a bit of rotation here, which makes it look a tiny bit better, but it's better to have a bit of offset as well. And what's happening is it's all happening at the exact same time. So if you want to see that, the body and the head and everything's moving down. So your head is at the bit here. So they've all gone down to this low point. Let's call it the dip. So and your head has done the exact same thing. See? and then you come up at the exact same time. So you've got this, and you wanna either lead with the head or lead with the chest. So you come back and come up, or you want to lead with the head and come back. It's up to you what you lead with, but lead with something. It's kind of the same note as before. But instead of offsetting, you're leading. So if you have something that's leading and following, it'll generally look a lot more fleshy and a lot more organic. And you see this arm movement. This is it's very isolated. You could have some more in the chest here, but again, I'll just cut this out and I wouldn't be so stretched back. And with the what's going on down here, you want to be careful because it doesn't, it doesn't look like this guy's doing things. So every motion that you have to imagine his legs are doing it. So these legs should actually be moving when he steps back, right? But they're just sliding, so he looks off balance. Here, you could just imagine his legs are not, his legs should kind of be out here, have that sort of thing to support the pose that you've got here, but it's not. So I'd be cautious of that. Even if you can't see it, it's worth animating just to make sure that you can have a good mechanics. And here you got a little jiggle, little what, just in here. And you see when you come up like this, the chest and the cog and the head, they're all moving up at once. Ready? See that? Doosh, doosh. So if you lead with this, start this, delay this by a frame or two, and then delay this, and you're going to have a nice squash, and then you're going to have a nice overshoot as well, and it's going to look a lot more fleshy. Yeah.
You broke my heart. I should be royally ticked off at you. I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore. I mean, you broke my heart. I should be royally ticked off at you. I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
Not sure about this lip sync.
You broke, you broke my heart. Broke my heart.
See the lips doing some funky business in here. Closing, opening, closing, and opening a bit. So it looks like just straight keys.
I should be royally ticked off at you. Ticked off at you. I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to.
Yeah, your lip sync is a bit the shapes are not hitting it, and it's there's not too much change or expression. I think the
Royally ticked off at you. I should be.
you can have more expression in the face. You need to push the face a bit more with your expression. So
You broke my heart. You broke my heart. I
so here, you could. I don't know exactly what the right answer is. What's that? But you can. What is the word?
should,
So maybe he's angry here because he's saying I should be ticked off at you, right? So maybe not angry, but more stern. So maybe the brows should actually be kind of down, right? And this is and the lip sync. It's got a bit of asymmetry in there, and more appealing mouth shape. Sure.
I should be royally ticked off at you, you know.
Yeah, like ticked off, you'd be frowning. And this could be more like I'm telling you off. This is a bit too angry, but just get more appealing. More expressive. Not so much more appealing, but more expressive shapes on there. And the appealing we can worry about after. If you can do it at the same time, of course, that's the dream.
You know, I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
And then when he says cheesed off, I shouldn't want to talk to her anymore. This is when he can go soft again, you know, because he wants to talk to her, but he doesn't. He shouldn't because she's been really mean, you know. So these sorts of things, I'm going to call it there because it's a lot, and I think that even the main thing is the acting, and then after that, putting the expressions down, making the expressions more expressive, and to do that, it would actually be the acting as well, like. If you have more solid acting, I'm not sure if you shot a reference or not, but if you had more solid acting, you'd know what to do with his face a tiny bit more. Yeah, because through this he's kind of he's got the same kind of sadness to him, whereas you can evolve through a bit. He's sad, puppy dog eyes, you know, and then he gets mad because he shouldn't be the one that's sorry, and then he gets sad again because he's really wants to talk to her. So you can move through these emotions and show the character really, you know, feeling things inside his head, which is what it's kind of all about. And then on top of that, make the animation more organic. And then for the lip sync, you know, the lip sync it would take a long time to do all the notes for the lip sync. I think you got a nice idea here. You got little arcs in there. I think you'll be fine with the lip sync actually. If you hit these expressions, make it a bit more sharp, and just make sure that you're hitting the shapes. You should be sweet. The biggest problem for me is the choices and a few how everything's moving all at once. Rock and roll. I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing the final version of this. Yeah, awesome, cool. Happy New Year.